Alex, you went from Dragon's Den to being in a position where you could be one of the dragons.
I run Elite Competitions, which is the first online competition company.
But all the things that we see behind us, all the insane cars, and yet one of your first jobs was in Summerfield.
I had no money all the time. I was borrowing 20 quid off mum to go out. I had a Mercedes on finance, got repossessed.
As you sit here today, what revenue will Elite achieve this year?
100 million. We've gone into days where we're like, if we don't sell £500,000 worth of tickets today, we make a loss.
Is there ever a point where you feel like the gambler?
That's the part I'm obsessed with. If you think you can put it down on a Friday night, if you think you can be hungover on a Saturday and not do it, if you can't be arsed on a Monday because you've had a rough night's sleep, you won't make it. A couple of guys from Germany said, I'll give you 10 million for your business. Yeah, absolutely. Went into this meeting and the buyer tried to knock 5 mil off on deal day. And then I went, no, we're leaving. Walked out and that was it.
Alex, you went from Dragon's Den to being in a position where you could be one of the dragons. I find that absolutely unbelievable, like many people that will be listening today.
Yeah.
So in your own words, who are you and what do you do?
Alex Beckett, and I'm a Northern lad and I run Elite Competitions, which is the first online competition company.
Which we're going to argue today because there was other things around, potentially like BOTB, and you're going to explain why you're completely different to that.
Yeah.
And competitions are surrounded in questions, legitimacy, and all kinds of other things that people think when they see one pop up on their Facebook and Instagram feeds. But all the things that we see behind us, all the insane cars, this insane building, and yet one of your first jobs was in Summerfield.
Yeah. Yeah, never one for, education really. So didn't really, do too well at school. Always wanted to just work. So I just wanted money so I could go out with my mates and stuff like that. So at 16, just left school and then just went to work at Summerfield full time. Knowing that I had a niggle though for other things, I didn't, that was never the end goal. But at the time it was like, I don't want to go to college.
As you sit here today, what revenue will Elite achieve this year?
100 million.
What does it feel like saying that on a podcast?
I think like if you go back to early days, me 28, I started it, so I'm 35 now. And we've been going 10 years, but the first 2 years are like negligible. As any business owner will know, it's pretty much pointless. I don't feel like I get loads of pinch me moments. So people say, oh, Al, you bought £1 million car or you bought a £500,000 car. And I'm like, and they're like, oh, congratulations or whatever. I'm like, I don't care about that. I mean, yeah, if you've got the money, you're going to buy nice things. That happens to everybody who gets money, right? But it's not like you don't end up pinching yourself. You're just going with the journey. So ours is, I want to be the most successful competition company in the country. We want to be a household name. Until we get that, I don't feel like I've achieved it. So yeah, we've got X amount of millions, whatever, and we own all our stock outright and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean that we've completed it. It doesn't mean that we're any more successful than anyone else. It just means our journey is a bit further on. Do you know what I mean?
Where do you go most days? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock when you leave this place? Where do you go as your stopgap?
Stopgap is the pub. So we go to, the routine is, I'm not one for getting up at 2 a.m. and going to the gym. Yeah, I don't know. I've never believed it. I see all the Instagram memes like, yeah, this is I do 20 hours working and all that. No, I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I go downstairs. I have a cigarette. I'm not promoting smoking. It's horrendous. And a coffee. So I make a coffee. I get on my computer. I do an hour's worth of work and then I go upstairs, get changed, come to work, obviously in the office, film a load of content, which is laborious when you have to do it every single day selling tickets. I've been selling tickets for 10 years. And then about 6 o'clock, whenever we finish our day, I go to the pub on my own. And I have done for about 8 years, literally 8 years on my own. So everyone goes, so I tell the staff here, and some of the staff are 21 years old. So I just nip for a pint on the way home. And they say, do you not just look like a sado in the corner? And I said, no, I don't care what anybody thinks of what I look like there. I'm just like digesting the day. What have we done that day? Catch up on my phone and then making a plan for tomorrow. And I do that before I go home and get the chaos off the missus and all that.
Do you have the same group in the pub?
No one. It's on my own. I go to the pub on my own.
Don't go there. I'm picturing you at a bar with a load of other guys that like you see at the end of their working days just sat there all flipping talking. You just sit there and poof.
On my own. Yeah, so there's no group at the pub. I literally just go have a pint on my way home to and I don't like the word stress, so it's not stress, like de-busy myself from the day and the spreadsheets and the meetings and blah, blah. And I just go on my own and I chill out for an hour. Yeah.
How different was going to the pub 10 years ago? What was you thinking about then?
Getting pissed. So yeah, like obviously like 10 years ago when it was about, you know, I don't know though. No, I do myself an injustice because even then I would manifest in my spare time how to do something and make a success of it. Like, so everything, I had many failed businesses before this one, and every downtime I'd be doing something, I'd be trying something, I'd be selling something, bit of Del Boy on the side, you know, be doing something. I'd be thinking how I get out of my job because I didn't like working. So that then just goes forward, and I'm doing the same thing. I feel no different 10 years later going to the pub for a pint on the way home. It's exactly the same.
So what was paint us a picture of your childhood, because it seems like you were on a fairly normal path. You're in Summerfield, you're working. There's a key few words you've used: manifestation, thinking about the future, and we'll figure out where that comes from.
Yeah.
So start by just painting us a photo of what life looked like growing up.
Yeah. So from a very normal middle-class family, grew around here, northern. We're not out in the sticks. Lived in a place called Carlton. It's quite a small town. And like I said, just went through school. Good couple of mates. I was never a popular one at school. I was middle guy, like just the normal guy. But always, I was the guy that was selling sweets on the in the playground. And I bet you'll find that with most business owners. Like I was the guy who was going to the shop, trying to put a quid on every sweet and selling it. And I think that was always the thing. So education was always, for me, quite secondary as a thought. So I'd go to school to try and make money, even when I went like start of secondary school. And then obviously after school, my mates who are really close to my friendship group, they went to college and carried on education and went on to uni. But I started college and I just couldn't get on with it again. I was like, I don't know. Not that it makes me sound arrogant if I say I don't like being talked at, because that's not the way I am. I'm a really nice guy to everyone as well, but I just didn't believe what the teachers were teaching because I wasn't interested in any of the subjects. Zero, no subjects was interesting.
Were you dissecting it like, I wonder who's giving him that module? I wonder where that's come from. I wonder, like, is that kind of how you were thinking about it in that sector rather than the actual stuff in it?
Maybe I think the thought process was more the fact that without consciously thinking it, I think I was like, I'm never going to use that in my life. And that was just going, oh, well, you can't be bothered with it then. And then it was more like, I can't be bothered. So I think I didn't, and I realized I wasn't going to use it. But I wasn't thinking at the time, I wasn't going, oh, I can't be arsed with this because I'm never going to use it. That wasn't the thing. But I think subconsciously I was going, my brain doesn't need to absorb this information. What it will absorb is what's my set of wheels that I'm trying to sell on eBay bid up at the minute, because that finishes at 421 and I need to be checking that.
Was there a set of wheels involved because you're into cars?
Always into cars, yeah. So when I earlier, 12, 13, started motocross, so dirt bike racing, and 16 autograss, which is driving minis round in a circle on a field. It's the only thing we could afford. So I had a 650 quid mini with the trailer and everything. My dad used to tow me to the tracks at 16. Before that, it was motocross. And then I went back to motocross after that. So yeah, it was always cars, motorbikes, camper vans, that was always a bit of a passion of mine.
It's funny that, because now it's not just cars that you raffle, is it? That you started with motocross bikes, if I'm right.
Yeah.
You've had camper vans, you've had everything that you could possibly think go through these doors in this building, but that kind of relates to those earliest years.
Yeah.
Did you know then that whatever it was that you were destined to do had to involve an engine? Or were you willing to do kind of anything?
Anything, yeah, honestly. I think my obsession, although I think I like cars, I'm not that bothered. You know what I mean? If I strip it back, I'm obsessed with success. That's it. There's nothing else that bothered. I mean, the cars are amazing, yeah, when you've got them and whatever. I had to drive a van every day. I genuinely drive a van. I know I pulled up in my Rolls Royce today because you were coming, but I drive a T7 Transporter every day. Like, it's one of those, you think that you want that thing, and then you think that that's what's driving you. But really, it's just, for me, it's just complete obsession about the business. I'm just completely obsessed, besotted with it. Always have been.
Do you think that's because you finally found a business that gives back to you and that you're in love with, and this is the one you made work? Because this wasn't your first business, right?
Yeah, so a lot of this stuff was like, I was just buying and selling. So I'm going to digress from the question a little bit, because I'm going to tell you that before I had Elite Comps, we had a watch company. So basically, I just ripped off AP and Rolex, yeah, and I just went to a Chinese supplier and I went, here's the design, can you make some of them? Got them in, started trying to sell them, didn't sell one, got a cease and desist letter from AP, and went, right, that's that over.
Great stuff.
That was just like, well, brilliant, you know what I mean? I've just wasted 6 months or something. But I think you're right, I was never bothered about it. Like going on a shoot with a model and this is, I'm talking iPhone 1 or whatever, literally like that. Going on a shoot with a model, I was just never passionate about it. So although Raffles is Raffles and you can raffle anything within means, I think with it starting with motors is probably why I liked it a little bit more.
Because you look very different now. It's amazing how time moves on, and you develop in many different ways, to how you did when you stepped on the set of Dragons then.
Yeah.
What got you in that room in front of those Dragons?
So we can go into the whole, like, the competition industry wasn't this industry back then. So we went on in 2017. I came up with the idea for this way of raffling in 2016. So in 2017, the only way competitions were around is, you know, as you've seen, TV competitions, radio competitions. BOTB do Spot the Ball, or did Spot the Ball. They've moved into more raffles now. So there wasn't this digital raffle legally as well. You know, you could just do it illegally, but there was no legal route to raffle, you know, and there wasn't this route of competitions. So I basically came up with this idea. And it was at a motocross track one day. And I thought, I want a new bike, but I've got no money. I never had any money. Like, I was the guy who had no money all the time. I was borrowing 20 quid off mum to go out every Friday. Like, I've just had no money. And, well, you know, I'll spend everything I've got, get it back, spend everything. So I had a motocross bike and I wanted a new one, or I wanted a change. And I went to the track and I thought, you know what? If I can get like 50 lads to give me 50 quid, I'll just let one of them take the bike home. And then I've got my 2.5 grand for the new bike. And I just did it like pretty much instantly. I was like, that was easy. You know, obviously not right. You know, you can't do that. But I went, that was easy. I pretty much just got rid of my bike and no one's bothered, and they've just spent 50 quid and someone walked away with it. So, and then I kind of came home and I thought that could be a proper business. And at the time I was on probably 25 grand a year. I was 26 years old and I was a project engineer making turbo actuators for cars. So I did a mechanical engineering, like BTEC or whatever they are, like 1 day a week, and then I was training to be an engineer. So and then I went home and I went to my mate. I went, well, how about I sell your bike for you? I'll try and do it the same way, like straight away, like same day. I said, well, go and wash your bike off because I ain't got one anymore, and we'll try and do it on Facebook. So it was when Facebook Live just came out. So I don't know the year, and I've not even looked it up. But I recall
2017.
2017. Okay, so I recall it was just when Facebook Live had just started. So it was a new feature, and I thought, go on, mate. I said, you stand with the camera, and I'll stand with the bike, and we'll go live. So anyway, went live, 2,000 viewers on my personal page live. I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? Anyway, I went, right, guys, it's 40 quid if you want to enter, and there's whatever, 60 numbers or something. DM me, you can PayPal me the money, and one of you is going to win it. Sold out like within 10 minutes. I was like, mate, we've just made 500 quid on your bike. Like what you wanted to actually sell it for, and there's a bit of profit. And bloody hell, that was easy. And then that's the start of the elite competitions. And that's the start then, in my opinion, it'll be argued by other people, the start of the competition industry.
You always get told to walk before you can run. It's a saying that's gone around for so many years, but you've mentioned the word manifest so many times already in this conversation. Was there like a little picture of your brain, just a little one, just for 0.1 of a second of this, even at that time, what it could become, where you could go from that concept? Did you already put that vision of bang?
No, always the next day or next couple of weeks. I never think any further ahead than a couple of months. It's mad. And especially when you're that age, and I'm not from money, I'm not from a business background, I'm not from building spreadsheets a year in advance, I'm shit at my accounts. You know, like, I think I was just thinking about sell that next bike, move on to a car. So I never visioned this. I think going into 3 years, 4 years of elite, I always said to my ex-business, I've got 2 ex-business partners, and I said to, I remember saying to one of them, mate, if we ever get anywhere near £1 million for this business, ever, like, as in we were just saying, imagine someone put £1 million in your pocket. Like, I remember for the first 5 years, that was the dream. And then now we're doing 100 million turnover, and we've got decent net profits compared to the rest of the industry. I've run a very tight ship. But yeah, I think it could be £1 billion. And you'd ask me again, Al, do you remember when I came to your showroom? And yeah, it was amazing. But what you've got now, and we own like a frigging city, because it's £1 billion turnover. And I'd say, no, I just thought about next week selling that next house out.
So if you come from a fairly normal middle class background, what was giving you the drive to sell the sweets, to be different, to push forward, to not stay in Summerfield? What was giving that to you? Where did that come from?
I think to be fair to my dad, yeah, my dad would back everything I do. So he's a great guy, love him. He now actually works for me. And he's always been the same. Tried a few businesses, always failed. Probably a little bit behind digitally because of his age, so he couldn't really keep up. But he would always try a business, always really wanted to own his own business. And then he ended up landing a pretty decent job, regional sales director, but he's a salesman. And I think it was always just that sell that I liked. I liked sell. And then I'm weird because even when I'm not very computer literate, I taught myself spreadsheets and I would log every bit of profit I make on anything. So even if I'm just selling something, or even down to now, I build a house for £2 million, say, I log £10 receipts. So I'm terrible at my annual accounts, terrible, but I know exactly how much profit I've made on everything. You know what I mean? I think it's just that obsession.
Maybe you're not terrible.
Well, no, maybe not actually. Yeah.
Maybe you're telling yourself that you're terrible.
Yeah, but I don't give myself
because you want to big the team up. Because one thing that I noticed straight away, and this isn't like blowing a trumpet, but I always go and talk to teams from anywhere that there features a team. And I walk in the office, and you should have seen the look on their faces. When I walked in, I said, right, anything you want to ask him that'll get you sacked, ask me. And I'll ask him. But none of them, they were just sort of in a zone of like, emptiness. Like, I don't think there's anything that I couldn't kind of ask him. Was anything that they was everything that they all said. Is the goal, or is the building that team and the way you just were talking about your annual accounts there, is it the fact that you've believed to get the business to where it is today that you needed to employ people better than yourself at doing every given role?
Oh, I see this a lot, and I don't think I agree with it. I don't think, and no offense to my team, I don't think we do employ people who can do everything, not better than me, but are like complete wizards at their one thing. They'll learn and they'll grow here because we treat them so well. So in 10 years, I've never had one person quit. In 10 years. How mad's that for an employer? I employ 45 people now. Not one person's ever quit. Like, that's because everyone is treated well. I turn up every day and I'm there for them every day. They get messages from me at 6 a.m. and it's not hard selling. Sometimes it's really nice. I decided yesterday we're all going to the pub and out for tea tomorrow. We're going to Marbella in August. I took them to Dubai in Feb just gone, Vegas last summer. You know, and it's not just the holidays and it's not just the bonuses. I pay them all monthly bonuses. So company structured monthly bonuses. The valeters get paid if the company does well. Bonus. So they got a very good, base salary, but then even the valeters get the same as my top marketers.
So what taught you to do that?
I don't know. That's just me. I mean, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I treat people nice. I generally got quite a nice personality. I like people, seeing people do well. I want them all to get new cars. I want them all to, and I'm like, I'm doing well. I'm going to share a bit out. I like spending time with them. I literally like spending time with my staff out of work. So like, we're here, we'll go and have a drink, or we'll go and have something to eat, or we'll go on holiday. We came back from Dubai and I said, that's one of the best holidays I've ever been on.
But all that there could paint a picture to someone listening, someone that thinks I could pick up the phone, go and get a car on SOR, park it in front of a warehouse building, looks like it's mine, chuck £1,000 on Facebook ads, and I'm going to be able to take my team of 40 to Dubai in 5 years.
Yeah.
That's going to spark that interest, like it probably would have sparked your interest 10 years ago. But how different is the space that you've created 1.4 billion pound industry.
Yeah.
Compared to when you raffled your first motocross bike.
Yeah. So I think we're going to touch 2 billion this year as an industry, which is mental. 1.4 last year or 1.7 this year or something. But I think the difference is now, and this is genuine, and we do very well. I wouldn't start again now. I wouldn't start again in the same space now. I didn't get lucky because I came up with the idea at the start. So it wasn't luck, but I was a bit lucky that there was no marketing going on in this industry now. So if you went, right, I'm going to buy a car or I'm going to get a car on SOR, you're meant to own all your prizes for one. So that's not a great start. But if you went to go and borrow a car off your mate and said, mate, I'm going to get you 25 grand back for that. As soon as you put the raffle live, you should stand on it and you should give it away regardless of ticket sales. Now, the problem is, because we spend so much with Mare and our prizes are so much better than yours, no one's going to come and play. We've got 2 million customers. Why would anybody go to someone smaller with a lesser prize who's bidding more heavily on marketing, regardless of the platform? And also, we've got a brand name. We've given away 140 million pounds worth of prizes. We've been here for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a couple of big boys now in the space that are just going to dilute the small ones, unfortunately.
What's different about placing a bet for a Lamborghini Aventador Roadster or Lamborghini Tamario, both cars that are probably launching just after you're listening to this, if it's at the start?
Yeah, live now, actually, the Temerario.
What's different about placing a bet on one of those than me placing a bet on Lewis Hamilton to win at the weekend?
Yeah, so obviously Raffles is fixed odds. So so they rarely get 100% sold out anyway. Let's say there's 1 million tickets on the Temerario. If you buy one, you've got a 1 in 1 million chance. So compared to actual gambling, it's a way of fixed odds placing some money, and having a fixed chance. So your chance straight away. Whereas what if Lewis Hamilton just crashes first corner? You know what I mean? You can't. If you put 100 quid on Lewis Hamilton to win the F1 at weekend, it's the sports book that's worked out what your odds are. Now that'll always be weighted towards the casino or the gambling company or whatever, won't it? Whereas us, you can see how much the prize value is, exactly how much we're going to take in revenue, in gross revenue, if we sell it out, and then you decide whether you think that's good value or not.
Quick stopgap. If someone is watching this in the first 7 days of this podcast right now, what Mare can they win?
Right now, Lamborghini Temerario.
That's the one, because it's the newest and no one has one.
5p for a 500 grand car. That's what you want to win.
Are any of those going to be available?
Yeah, the GT3 RS is being given away with a house at the end of this month. So that's literally on right now.
Only a house?
Just to get a house. Oh, you get a G-Wagon with it as well.
Okay.
And the GT3 RS.
Oh, fair enough.
M3CS is next week, so that'll be live as well.
And if someone's listening to this that's beyond that 7 days and is thinking, damn it, I just missed a Tamario, what should they do?
There'll probably be something even bigger and better. So just keep going over to the site, having a look, spend a few pence and try and win £1 million or so.
Do you think you've ever had a trouble? Because there's definitely a stigma with this in this world of people just not believing that you're legit.
Mate, even now, every week, every draw, scam. You fixed it. Everyone's my brother. Everyone's my mate. It's the presenter who's actually won every time. Every single time.
Is that the thing that gets to you the most?
Nah. If I've learned one thing, I don't read any comments. I'm on every single bit of marketing personally as a founder, running our paid, most of our paid content, and I don't read any comments. I tell the guys, if they've got someone's been really harsh about me, don't read it. I say, I don't care, mate. Like, they'll come and try and show it me. I go, well, don't show it me. I don't want to baffle my head with what someone else is just going to say about me, because I ain't got time for that. If I'm thinking about someone slagged me off, and I give that half an hour thought, I've just wasted half an hour of my day thinking about something completely pointless.
When it has absolutely zero effect.
Because there's 10 other people who think you're dead nice. There's a million other people who want to win a car who are just like, well, I'll just chuck a fiver away, mate. That's fine, because I'm dead happy for the winner. It's the one negative comment that you think about for the rest of the day.
So has the scam legitimacy stuff got worse to now or better?
I would say early days, nobody thought it was a scam because it was just me personally raffling. Then you get a lot of, I think there's 1,000 operators now, or 100, in the hundreds. There's 100 operators, say 100, but I don't know what the actual figure is. The problem is, a few of them will be dodgy. You know what I mean? I don't know who, I don't know how. So they're then ruining it for the rest of us who've actually got very decent companies. We pay a lot of tax. We pay a lot, you know, we do a lot we do loads for the community. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So I think they've got worse because the industry's got bigger. We have had some recent stuff come in, like the VCOC. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. I can run you through it, which is helping legitimize the whole industry. And also, I think as the companies get bigger, so you've got like a top 10 maybe. As the companies get bigger, we're going to start getting it less and less. But I think at the start, not too bad. The last 5 years, yeah, but it's going to tail off now because people know we cannot afford to rig why would I rig a competition, even if it was for £1 million house, when I've got £100 million turnover business riding on it? I've got 50 staff. We've got assets worth over 10 million quid. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that?
Have you had customers that have won twice?
Yeah. We've had we had one recently, a guy called Christian, and he won. This was quite mad because he wanted a Porsche. We found out after he won his first Porsche, he wanted a Porsche. So he won a 24 plate Porsche Carrera, nice new Porsche Carrera, lovely. Came up, picked it up. He said, I spent 100 quid on the draw. He does them on the draw day at the end, 100 quid. Like, he's in a bundle, like at 40% off. He gets loads of tickets. I went, oh, sound, mate. The Tuesday after, he won a Rolex Daytona Platinum. It's like an 80 grand watch. He said, I spent 100 quid. Like, he did the same bundle, the 40% off bundle. It gets you 100 quid's worth. And then a week later, he won a 22 or 23 Porsche Turbo S, worth more than the first Porsche. So I think within about 6 weeks, he won 3, spent 100 quid every time. And then we're like that. I mean, dead happy for the guy. I'm like, mate.
That is the biggest nightmare.
Yeah.
Is that a nightmare marketing scenario for you, or is that a dream marketing scenario for you?
Not good. Not great. You would rather not. And the thing is, at the minute, there was a competitor who's had quite a big problem with this just recently. And I'm in a bit of a decision process where if someone wins big, do I have a cooling off period where they can't win big again for a few months? But then is that taking their rights off them, as in because they want to spend? I don't know. It makes no difference. But the probability is it will happen. And people then just get the ump about it.
So have you ever banned customers?
Yeah. We ban customers for overspend. We exclude it flags up now on our system when you hit a certain criteria. Can't remember what it is. It's literally like £1,000 in a week. It's not a lot. I mean, it sounds a lot of money.
Don't tell them.
It sounds a lot of money, doesn't it? But you know, it is. You hit red flags, and then our customer service team reach out, and then we've also got self-exclusion, cooling off periods. You're not allowed to just reinstate your account after you've pressed it, and we've got loads of stuff in there now. And the biggest and best change we ever did was drop our ticket prices. So instead of going from 20 quid a ticket, we dropped our tickets to in the pence, and that's then allowing everybody and anybody to enter. So you're not capping it to just people who've got a spare 20 quid. Now, if you've just got a couple of pence in your account, just have one ticket.
Because I think that's the thing that kind of baffles people a little bit, that maybe don't think into it to the same degree as we're having this conversation, which is you've got a 280 grand Lamborghini there.
Yeah.
But you could technically put 1920p on that car and maybe win.
Yeah.
And then I think people go, how's that possible? I don't understand it. They have a 10-second fleeting thought without thinking about it in depth. But they go like, how's that possible?
Yeah.
Is that true? So can you actually just check out one ticket for 19p?
Yeah, 100%. And the Temerario is 5p a ticket. It's a £457,000 car, and that's 5p a ticket. You should buy one ticket. You just go and buy one ticket. It cost me more. I think it cost me like 20p per transaction, in all the fees and stuff. But yeah, you can buy one. There's no minimum spend. And we had a guy, I'm just trying to think what we drew. We drew something on Friday, and I can't remember. We were getting loads of winners. I think he spent like 75p or something. It was something mega. He had like 5 tickets on a comp that was 3p. It was like 15 or 20p or something. And he won whatever we drew on Friday. It was like 100 grand prize.
What is a comp maybe in your earliest years of starting that you launched it? Maybe it was something a bit crazy, a bit big. And you thought, have you had like a this could make or break us?
Yeah, loads of times. Even now. They're the risks. I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't. I'm just like, do it. Don't care. I'll spend every penny in the bank to buy that prize. If it does well, we keep going. If it don't, whatever. I'm not bothered. So yeah, we had loads of them. First car, was a BMW 320i, like on a 17 plate, like quite new at the time. Did a first car. Don't think it did that well, actually, because everyone was used to motorbikes. And then Lamborghini Huracan 2015 it was, and we did that in probably 2019 at Christmas. Did quite well, actually. I think it actually sold out, and we're like, whoa. But that was like 150 grand at the time. I'll have 150 grand. You know, I'm like maxing out everything I can get from the bank or whatever, or my payments are 21 days in arrears. So I'm just like pulling everything I can to pay for this one hero prize, Christmas 2018, and just going, fucking hell, that works.
It's always a Lambo.
Yeah.
People bet everything on a Lambo. It always starts, that supercar, that thing. It's always a flipping.
Yeah.
Was it special getting your first Lambo for you? I know you're all about the business and the drive, but did you get that moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think I remember. So the raffle prizes probably not so much, but on a personal level, I do remember a couple of key moments that made me think, "Oh wow, like this is decent." It's only recently you get to the point of not caring because you just want this business to go bosh. Whereas at the start, when you're just about starting to earn money, you're like, oh my God, is this actually what it feels like to have a little bit of spare cash? So I remember like we were about probably 3 years in, me and my business partner, James at the time, I went, right, we got a bit of spare cash, but we can't afford to buy cars outright personally. And we were driving a van, so I had a 03 plate, Vivaro, Renault Traffic, all sticking up elite, and that's what I used to drive as my car and everything for the first 3-4 years. So we got to that and I went, right mate, let's get ourselves a couple of cars. I got a 16 plate Range Rover, just a diesel Range Rover, and of that, this is like the best thing ever. I'm like living at mum and dad's house, we got this Range Rover on the drive, I look like a gangster. And then Jimmy bought an M5, the newish M5 at the time. But we had them on finance. So I was paying like 500 quid a month for mine out of the business. He was paying 500 quid a month for his out of the business. So that one there, I was like, we've actually just borrowed 50 grand on these cars and we're paying for a monthly. That was amazing. That was like our first treat. And then after that, I remember a couple of years after that, I personally went and bought myself an SVR outright for like 70 grand. This is probably I think the post was actually 2018, so I've got my dates a bit mixed up, or 2019. Anyway, it was a good few years in, 3 or 4 years in, and I went and bought myself one from Alexander's Prestige in North York. It's up now,
down south.
Yeah. And it was like 70 grand. And I remember like I had the picture with the guy and I had my plaque with my name on. And I was like, oh my! I remember driving it, just going, I made it.
Is any car a bit like a car dealer? Because you are also basically a car dealer in some respects.
Yeah,
we'll go into that because you've got a whole other side of the business that sort of does that.
Yeah.
Is any car ever yours, or are you always thinking in the back of your head, that's going in a bundle?
Obviously, anything I buy out of the business is the business's assets every time, and I don't drive them. So when they come in, nothing gets driven. The Temeraire I've never been out in apart from content and everything. I don't drive them. I keep it all separate on purpose. I like having my own assets. So I've got my own car collection now, and I buy stuff. So no, anything that comes in the business just stays here. This is what I mean. Like everyone, I don't just go, I'm gonna raffle off, a car that I've been smoking around in for a month, or I'm going to keep smoking around it. It's live on the website. I'm like super OCD. Everything is here. It's in the showroom. It's all insured all the time. It don't go anywhere. So no, I don't enjoy the prizes. I just buy them and that's it.
When did you find yourself on Dragon's Den?
When?
Yeah.
2017.
And why did you step into that room? Was it to get money or was it for content?
I'd say we went on Dragon's Den for exposure. I think it was exposure. If I'm setting my mind back now, I'm going, why did I apply for it? Because we needed more clicks on the website. So applied for it, got through, went on, presented well, got a couple of offers, and then basically we just ignored each other. So fun fact is about 75% of the deals shown on Dragon's Den don't go through. So they just lose contact and you just never end up hearing from them.
So what was your deal that was on the table? Do you remember that moment? Surely mum, dad, everybody would have had it on the TV.
Yeah. It was amazing. I remember it was like looking at the website and there was a couple of thousand people live on the site as we were watching it, Crashed the site actually, pretty shit. But we got a load of sign-ups. It was 50 grand for 20%. So yeah. that would be worth quite a lot now.
And did you know when you were walking into that room, you were never giving that away?
No, I think I would. I think if they would have pushed it their side, I think I'd have done it. Just a young lad, I never knew it was going to turn into this or any bigger. So, well, I'd have taken it. If Tuka and Tej, if they'd have carried on, they would have a lot of millions from their 25 grand now.
You ever spoke to them?
I wonder if they're going to see it. I've not spoken to them since.
No, that'd be a good moment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the Brewdogs lad did similar, didn't they? Where it was like they missed it, they didn't get investment, and then it was like worth.
Was it Tangle Teaser?
Yeah, Tangle Teaser guy was like $1 billion or something, wasn't it?
Well, you can't always get it right, as you've probably learned as well.
Yeah.
Which leads me on nicely to what is a comp that's maybe nearly broke you, and how many of them don't actually meet what the cost price was for you, like a GT3 or a GT3 RS?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last year or so, we're doing really well. We're selling, we're getting the comps where we need to. The team's amazing. Our brand is just growing, so we're doing really well. I would say say there's 9 years of trading. First couple of years, decent. Hit COVID, decent. And then we had a 3-year lull. And it was when we were turning over 12 mil. So we're turning over $1 million a month, which is a hell of a lot of money, by the way, and not to be sniffed at. It was going 12 mil for 3 years. Now, the problem is, by the third year, we're spending a lot more money to get the 12 million than the first time we got 12 million 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Because, you're diluting your customers, costs are going up, you're spending more on advertising. Now, in those times, I've got a spreadsheet of every competition we've ever done. One spreadsheet, a master spreadsheet, and there's loads of red marks. Made loss. I think the worst one is about 100 grand. Is our worst ever loss is like 100 grand, and we just have to give the prize away.
I thought it would be more than that, to be fair.
Not too bad. We managed to, but mate, you graft in though at the end. When we've got into days where we're like, if we don't sell £500,000 worth of tickets today, we make a loss. Imagine that, 6 in the morning. I get up at half 5. Imagine that, half 5. If I don't revenue 500 grand today, I'll lose whatever the shortfall is because I'm 500 grand minus on a comp.
So were you more panicky 5 years ago and you're more calm now, just from repeat? You wake up and you feel less stressed about the day?
Yeah, definitely. I think more calm about the sales because we kind of know they're coming. We've got a better strategy now, but still just as on the ball, like maybe even more, which I'm checking revenue 50 times a day. Honestly, 50 times a day for that day. It's ridiculous. I'm obsessed. But a couple of years ago, we were doing everything we can to just sell tickets. Like literally, we're just like, oh my God, stressing all day, every day. And then the problem was, it was a depressive place to be at times. You just about get the comp there. And then you go tomorrow and you just about get the comp there. And then you get your accounts in and you've spent too much. So you've actually made a loss for the month. And you're like, you know what I mean? And I'm lucky that we've had a very successful business in the longevity. And some businesses, not even in the comp industry, losing money, it must be, we've had a few and I'm like, this is horrendous. The feeling must be horrendous.
What feeling in the air? What weather? What situation or month is a bad competition time?
I don't let anyone blame that. I just say none. So if people like my guys will blame some, I
disagree with it, but yeah,
no, mate, it's fair. If we have a bad day yesterday or we have a bad month last month, I don't let seasonality impair it. I just say no, you're not right.
There's a sticker there that says Football Fever 2026. There's a cardboard cutout of a player in there. Surely, if you put all the football stuff together and wrap a Aventador looking like you could kick it, that is going to be a better time to sell around the World Cup than not the World Cup.
But then just think something else when the World Cup's not on. So yeah, brilliant. That's you cutting through. You're making some noise on your paid marketing. It's going to look better than the next person. Brilliant. You'll sell tickets. So when it's not the World Cup next month, well, what are you doing then? And then you just got to answer that. And then you answer that and you do it again. And then what do you do the month after? Well, it's summer holidays for the kids. Sound. What's the month after? Halloween or I don't know, whatever's going on in the world. Make it relevant and just pour out your content for it.
It's quite funny because you're in the business of gambling to gamble. And I can't even imagine, even today alone, the eye-watering sum that you must have spent on a platform like Meta.
Mm-hmm.
Is there ever a point where you feel like the gambler. Like, I'm just putting more money in the machine, and you've probably got now systems and people in place for your ROAS and stuff like that. But is there a point where you had to be like, oh, I've just got to walk away from the ad spend today or this week or this month? Is that the thing that's the toughest part?
I think that's the part I'm obsessed with. I like that. Yeah, that is the part. I like the fact that I want to spend as much money as I can today, as long as the return's there. So I'll push everything as hard as it can. I'll spend as much as I can. If the returns aren't there, I'll beat myself up to get it where it needs to, change the content, change the strategy. And I think I love that side. I think that's what, my ex-business partner, that's the side he hated. He hated the comps not getting there. He hated chasing it all the time. He hated chasing the revenue. He wanted a quiet life. Fair play. But I'm just the opposite. I love it. I love chasing every day.
So why was he on that journey with you?
I needed $5,000 at the start of elite competitions. So I remember it very well, actually. There's a couple of things that happened at the start of elite. And one of them was, I have this idea, lads, in the group chat. Same group chat that I've got now. And I said to the lads, I've got this idea. Right, what is it? And they're all that. And I swear, my mate will tell you, one of my best mates, he said, not one of your ideas, Alex. He actually said, like, no one do this, you'll just lose your money. Because this was just me. I've got a new idea a week. So I said, anyone got $5,000? I need to build a website and buy our first, two motorbikes.
Nothing.
Zero. No, zero. Literally zero. Nothing. Nothingness.
Like, I had to stop you being like, I can do this.
No, yeah,
it's not the $5,000.
Yeah. Literally, I just needed $5,000. I had a Mercedes on finance, got repossessed, like cocked on 6 payments on my drive, like repossessed it off my drive. I had nothing. So I said to the lads, right, anyone want to do this? And Jimmy's the only one who said, I'm gonna ask my dad whether I can borrow it. Jimmy didn't have any money, so he asked his dad. He borrowed $5,000 off his dad. We made the first website. He got 30%. On that day because he took the risk with me. So he was on the journey, letting me run it, obviously, and then he was just there, sounding board for 1, 2, grafter, come in, count the balls out. We used to have to count 1,500 balls in a ball, like ping pong balls.
I won't explain that, yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2, we got 1,500 balls that go in a ball machine when it was 1 to 1,500, and you've got to put them in order so you can show the tubes to the camera. Mate, here you go.
Oh, see, he never stops.
No, he never stops. No, but we had to count out 1 to 1,500 every day. See, there sat like putting ping pong balls in order 1 to 1,500 every day. Like, it's hilarious. So he was on the journey for that. A job. Thought it was a good idea. Put $5,000 in, and I managed to sell him the idea, and he did very well out of it.
And he clearly would have, because of where the company's got to and the journey you've been on.
Yeah.
But were you always conflicting mindsets where you're like so 100-mile-an-hour entrepreneur? Did you ever clash, even as mates? Even talking about him as a person, people still clash.
Absolutely, yeah, they do. And mate, I know a lot of people who are in business with the mates, and it's horrendous, and they don't get on, and there's a conflict. And when you talk of the numbers we've got, we're not just talking about, we own this small company. We've got millions of pounds on the line in an argument. Anyway, Jim was very good at letting me lead everything. Any decision I made, he'd just back it. So it was brilliant. Any decision I made, he'd back it, and he'd just turn up for work every day. So it was good.
Away from business partners, you clearly were quite social growing up, going down BMX, and if you're part of that kind of thing, or you motocross, you're a autograss.
Yeah.
You're clearly going to be a social kid. You're going to be surrounded by people, and then people that you then bring with you throughout your life. Some drop off, some new people come on. If you're taking a whole team to Marbella or Vegas or all the rest of it, is it quite difficult as you to be like, oh, this family member wants to come, but they're not really working the business. This friend's like, yeah, sure, I'll come. Is it really hard being the money man to stay constrained, to say no?
It's weird because one thing I've never done is network with people. So I've the same people from 10 years ago with the same people now. So I know if they're coming into my life now that they're probably going to want, it's a different agenda. I've been with the same girl since the start when I had nothing, living at my mum and dad's house. And, the staff that I bring in here are brought in for a reason. So I treat my family and my friends the same as I treat my staff. We're all on one level. No one's bothered. We go to the pub. My mates buy pints. I buy pints. No one. So I never get it. No one ever asked me for. No one asked me for money. No one asked me to come on holiday. Pip, my wife, if I'm going all day with the staff. She don't ask to come because she knows that I do. It's work. Like I go with my work guys to treat my work guys. I'm not doing it because taking my wife abroad. I do that whenever. So no, I don't get asked and I don't get conflicted. And because my family will know the answer, mate, this is my first priority. So my first priority is making sure my guys here, my business is on the up. So that's what's going to happen.
But a lot of those family and people that you know have ended up working for you. Yeah. Has that always been like quite something that you'd think about when making those decisions heavily? Like, is this going to be right for our relationship?
I think because generally we're I don't know what it is. I've got lucky with the people that I've employed. So I'm in business with a lot of my mates and I've hired a lot of my mates and a few of my family members. So my brother Dan works for me. Tom's been here from the start. He's one of my best mates. I'm in business with Max and the car dealership. I've got 3 other businesses, all ran with mates. I'm lucky that they let me lead. You know what I mean? So because we've had an idea together and I've fronted 100, 200 grand or whatever to get a startup going. If they've got it, they'll always just say like, Al, what would you have done then? And I'll go, well, mate, like just change that and that. And we just don't argue. I don't argue with people. I don't know. I just got a personality. I just don't argue with people. I don't know. We just tend to get on well. So I think I've seen it where they don't get on, mates, family, in business. And I know a lot of advice in business is never take on your family or friends. I found the opposite. I found they're the ones who are going to be there supporting me, supporting the business, my low times. We've had loads of things go wrong in this business, horrendous, sleepless nights. They're the ones who are always there for you. More than normal staff. And my staff are absolutely fantastic.
Who in the business have you partly employed because they've got the biggest balls to tell you no? And does anybody ever tell you no? Not sure.
No, not really. I mean, no,
because it's good to employ a no man.
No, but do you know what, mate? It's because that sounds like he just runs a load of minions, and it's not that. It's because the conversations I have with the staff and the culture I built is we're all on the same level. So it's never me dictating to them. It never has been that, and it never is that. It never was that. It never will be that. I'm never the one dictating. So if I'm holding a meeting, everyone's got the exact same say anyway. I'm not like sat at the front like, oh yeah, listen to me and no one can tell me no. We'll just have conversations about everything. So everybody's got the same part. So there isn't any no. There's no no's to anybody. Do you know what I mean?
I obviously interview a lot of people, and especially people say under 35 or below.
Yeah.
That have very quickly in a period of 3 to 5 years come into money, some that I haven't been able to get on the podcast as well. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of watched their journey and they get what I call footballer syndrome, which is, it's like nothing. King hell, look at this. I'm a twat.
Yeah.
What stopped you from becoming that?
I'm very thankful for you to even think that, but I'd hope that the people around me would say the same. This is what I go back to is I still do the same stuff as I did 10 years ago. So I like going for a pint on the way home on my own. That's what I like doing. I don't like being everyone pecking me head or whatever. I don't go and network with high net worth people because I just think I don't enjoy that chat. I want to know how my mate, who's a plasterer, how his week's been on a Friday night. So we all go out on a Friday night every single week, the lads, to one pub. We do it every single week. I just want to have normal conversations because how can I think that I'm any better than someone else just because I've got more money? That doesn't make me a good person just because I've got loads of money. It doesn't make me more entitled to anything. I've just got a nice car, sound. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've just never had the mindset where I think it hopefully has never changed me. I'm more assertive with my decisions. Someone's taking a piss, I'll tell them now. So I'm very assertive when it comes to business. And if I don't want to do something in my personal life, I'm quick to say, I can't be arsed doing that. They're the only things that have changed my personality. But other than that, I just think I like doing the same thing. So although I've got a couple of boats on Windermere, so the boats have got more expensive.
Oh, you exquisite chap.
Yeah, exactly. The boats have got more expensive, haven't they? But when I go there, I go surfing with the lads and we go and have a pizza after. It's the same thing. You know, I'm not going having caviar. I've never tried caviar. You know, I'm not doing all that. I'm with the same lads from 10 years ago. We're going and having a fun day in Windermere, staying over, going getting pissed. And that, you know, it's just stayed the same.
Well, I think if we're talking about that kind of stuff, we may as well grab a beer.
Yeah.
Well, we've quickly grabbed ourselves a beer because I wanted to talk about that situation when you're in the pub on a Friday night with your mates.
Yeah.
Any excuse. You must get every week, and it must get monotonous. And I'm betting on the fact that it hasn't stopped. Come on, Al, can you just get us to win one of the competitions? Surely you can just get us our tickets up there, mate. And you must just be like, yeah, I've heard that one before.
That is a monotonous question. Go on, I'll be all right when I win one of your houses, or I'll be all right when I win that supercar. I've got my eyes on that Audi R8, and yeah, get that all the time. Does get a bit boring.
If you could ban one of your mates from playing, who would it be?
Well, actually, anyone who's associated with the business isn't allowed to play anyway, and family members. I don't. It's not my mates. It's more random people. So I would ban the people that I see all the time saying stuff like that because it gets a little bit annoying. But my mates don't really play. They just don't really play. I think I don't know why. They just don't really play.
So you don't have that problem.
I have that problem with random people. So it's not my mate saying, let us win one of these, because that would get boring, and they know it'd get boring. But I'll be sat in the pub and a random will come over and go, I'll be all right when I win one of your houses, Alex. So that I get it a lot from randomers.
What sort of reach does some of the sponsored posts have that you pay for on Facebook?
Well, millions of views, millions and millions of views. Nearly, not daily, but we're doing massive numbers on social media.
What has that done to your life? Surely people are now and probably as well because it's short form and it is a business advertising. I'm I know that guy from somewhere. Is that what you get a lot, or are you getting oh my god, it's the elite bloke every 5 seconds?
Yeah, I get recognised a lot. My one big thing, and it's probably the reason why I drive a van every day, is the conception you'll get from me. If you just saw the videos, you probably would think he's a bit of a dick. You probably would.
Why did you say that?
Because I'm the young lad who's made a load of money and he drives around in a Rolls Royce. That would be your conception, your perception of me straight away. But that's my one biggest thing. Is I don't want people to think that because they don't know me. So I do get it a lot, and I do sit there sometimes. And sometimes if someone's staring at you or whatever, and I'm no celebrity, don't get me wrong at all, in no stretch of the imagination. But I do worry about what people think about me a bit.
Is your biggest fear you not being recognised as humble by your family and friends?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely want everyone to think I'm the same guy. If someone said you've changed, which genuinely anyone who means something to me has never said that. If someone said you've changed, you turned into an idiot, then I would be upset. That would be the one thing that would upset me, because I pride myself on being a nice guy and doing the right by people and not treating anyone differently.
You think that just comes from your upbringing?
I think that comes from upbringing. I also think it comes from the people you surround yourself with. So I know that people say networking's brilliant, and it can be, don't get me wrong, absolutely, especially for business and up-and-coming entrepreneurs, speaking to other like-minded people, but you can speak to the wrong people. There's so many people who are egotistical, think people are a piece of shit just because they've got normal jobs. That is just not fair to have that mindset. So I've always surrounded myself with people that I trust, small group that I've always grown up with, and that's it. I'm not interested in opening that up to anyone.
As someone that is grown £100 million business, how many reels from podcasts do you see pop up every day? You think that's just such bollocks, I'd explain in the office
every day, and I doom scroll as well, So I'm still one for doom scrolling an hour at night. And there's so many business podcasts where you're just mate, that's not real life. And the only one bit of advice I would say is you have to be obsessed with what you're doing. That's it. You're obsessed with what you're doing, it'll work, but you've got to like it and you've got to be obsessed with it. And that would be it. That would be my only piece of advice to anybody trying to start out. If you think you can, first 5 years, never went on holiday, working 7 days a week. I still work 7 days a week now, but yes, I can go on holiday now. I've got a load of staff. That doesn't happen overnight. That happens after 10 years of graft. And I still graft every day. You know what I mean? My wedding morning, doing my figures, 6 a.m. My wedding morning. Before my wedding, I'm doing my figures. All I'm thinking about is work, and I've got to get married in 4 hours. Genuinely, I'm that obsessed. On my wedding morning, I was doing it. We had our first daughter a month ago, little Marley. On the day my missus is in labour, I'm checking revenue every half an hour. I swear down, that's how obsessed you've got to be, otherwise it won't work. If you think you can put it down on a Friday night, if you think you can be hungover on a Saturday and not do it, if you can't be arsed on a Monday because you've had a rough night's sleep, you won't make it.
Did you always have obsession with something, or did Elite give you the ability to have obsession?
Always had an obsessive personality. Always been a bit addicted. Again, I've smoked for 18 years and I don't want to smoke, but I can't give it up. You know, I've got an obsessive personality, and I've always been obsessed with whatever's going on in my life at the time. Yeah.
What was that when you were like in your teens?
In my teens, it wasn't always about just making money.
Because it's important, because it forms who you are today. And I think it's like when people see people come on podcasts and take like little stopgaps. And what I make people do is like, if you're in a whirlwind, your weeks and your days, you never have a chance to think about stuff. Sometimes until you sit in the van. But and the reason I go like, what was the first supercar you bought? How did that make you feel? When you sat in it and you looked at the badge, how did that make you feel? It's because it's not necessarily something to gloat or like shout about. But what it is, it's like, Christ, do you remember when we were here? It's a bit of a stopgap. It actually puts a pin on paper of like where you were at a specific point of your journey. But like so many of those pins and strings come back to moments that we realise have absolutely no value at the time, but some of the most valuable things in our story altogether. If your friend hadn't given you that $5,000 and his dad hadn't have said yes, we probably wouldn't have been sat here now. Such minute differences can change the outcome of something so much. So I was thinking of names then. I was thinking UK Kart Comp, 7 Days. There's all these other people. What are your minute differences?
I genuinely think the only difference, and none of those guys are doing it wrong, don't get me wrong, all doing big numbers, and probably very similar to us. So whatever they're doing is right as well. But ours personally here is I will not let the culture of the team go down. So if we've got one person who's acting up, we'll call it straight out. Also, my other thing is, I show up every single day for them. So I know that my team are dedicated to the brand as much as I am, and because I'm here. Like if I was off in LA and I bought a mansion in LA and I didn't work and I was just giving them a load of shit on WhatsApp, I just wouldn't. I don't think that would work. And a lot of the other brands do that. The CEOs will just go, they'll make a couple of million quid and they'll just go, right, that's me now. I'm happy. But I think the difference is I always strive for moving forward, always strive for success. We've doubled this year. We're doubling for the last 2 years, year on year. And I just think me being here and showing up for the guys as much as I do, like I'm taking them out for tea tomorrow night. Do I have to take my team out for tea and have conversations that I could just have at work and, my ego should be bigger because I'm rich? No, that doesn't matter. It makes no sense to me. So I think the difference is I'm happy being here. I'm happy getting stuck in. I'll wash the car. Mate, if I need a car for content, I will go and wash the car. I'm not texting the balloter like, mate, get back here and clean that car. I'll just do it because he'll be busy doing something else. So you'll see me cleaning a car.
When you've pioneered something and you're very passionate, it was the first sentence you said about pioneered the e-com side of online competition business.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. So when you've got people snapping at your heels and other people growing big companies, surely they're going to piss you off at some point. Which one, or if you can't name the names, but fucking go on, which one's annoyed you the most? Which one's challenged you the most? What's been your Real Madrid to Barcelona?
Honestly, I swear down here, and I might be like a soft businessman. I don't dislike any of them. I promise. That's a genuine thing. Like I couldn't say it because I'd just be lying. I like what everyone does. The only thing that would piss me off if someone's not doing it right. So like if we should all be abiding by this VCOC now, which is voluntary code of conduct. If you're taking money off people using credit cards on instant win competitions, you shouldn't be doing that. You should have spend limits now for your customers. You should have self-exclusion. You should have dedicated customer service teams. If you haven't got that, you're too small and you shouldn't be in the industry because you're giving us all a bad name. That gives me that will annoy me. The big companies who have got to our size and are running about the same as us, no, I've got no issue with it. I've got a funny one, and I'm sure he'll, if he watches this, he'll agree. We had in our early days, probably 2 years in, a lad called Robbie won a motorbike off us, and he then started his raffle company with that motorbike, and that went on. That's Rev Comps. So
really,
so Robbie and I can't remember his dad's name, Pete, I think. And they started Rev Comps with a bike they won off us at the start. But fair play. I mean, he's done really well, and I like the guy. And we speak, and there's other people, and there's other people who've won here and use that as the first prize. I was like, I can do what they're doing now, mate. Don't bother. It would be hard work. I wouldn't set up again now.
A lot of people maybe that are a little bit more know about creators and people that own cars and this business and that business, like me as a podcaster, would have seen a couple of people sell up their competition businesses of recent.
Yeah.
One of them's done very well and was recently driving around in a Veyron and seems to be loving life. And
I know the guy.
I don't know whether he'd like to be mentioned or not, but he's done extremely well.
Yeah.
Congrats to him. Has that thought crossed your mind?
I've been approached multiple times to sell Elite, and I think at the end of the day, it's such a funny industry right now, because we've now gone from bedroom traders, as I started 5 years ago, even 5 years ago, we're still a bedroom trader. It was small, we're in a little farm building, to these businesses turning over £100 million, the industry up to £2 billion turnover. So it's, and our accounts have now hit audit threshold. So there'll be a handful of us that now have to get audited accounts. So last year we hit audit threshold, which is 25 mil turnover, over 5 million in net assets. And there's another one, it's like 50 plus employees, but you've got to hit 2 out of 3. We hit it last year. So now we have to get our accounts audited, which means our accounts are public on Companies House every year. So you hit a certain level and everything goes public on Companies House. Now, what that's done is that's created a lot of interest from billionaires and billion-pound companies in the gambling industry, in the lottery industry. So yes, a few of these founders are now selling up, because what you've got to realise is the founders of competition companies generally are just like me. They're just normal lads, love cars, give that a go. A few of the early guys, it's common knowledge DCG have sold. Rev Comps, it came out a couple of weeks ago that I think they're going through an acquisition. Click Competitions sold. COTB sold a few years ago. There's...
So for the team up there,
yeah,
are you selling?
No.
Why'd you answer?
Not for sale. I just think I can push it further, and I enjoy it too much.
Have you ever had just 5 seconds of looking at an offer or looking at a potential offer and just that thought going, oh, you bastard?
Mate, think about it every week. And I'm going to be very, very honest with you here. I'm in a weird position now where I'm seeing the founders who are similar age to me and have made a lot of money selling their companies, and they're selling them to these massive industry leaders in whatever industry they're from, and they're getting a lot of money, right? And moving to Dubai, and they don't need to pay tax because they're now residents of Dubai, or they stay here and they've still got a lot of money. And it's weird because I keep speaking to my parents about it, and I keep trying to kind of get a bit of advice. And I'm like, do I sell for a really good amount of money now? And I would get a lot of money. I own the company 100%, so I bought my 2 partners out in the past. Or do I stay and I try and compete with the guys who are buying the companies, right? So I've got £1 billion companies here buying a couple of the others. Yeah, so that's it. So you've got, I don't know, whatever, like the holding company owns 2 raffle companies doing 50 million quid each. They're now, and they've got backing of multi-million pounds to spend on marketing and to spend on building the team, and they're going to double the teams overnight. Is that going to make us feel small in the industry, which we don't currently, but these guys are massive. So then I go, do I cash out now and take a shitload of money that I've never even imagined having that in my life, and I don't need it? It's too much that I even need. But what does that look like for me? Would I be bored? Yes. Would I feel like I've given up literally my baby? Yes. So I'm like, that's enough for me not to do it. So, and then what do I have to do? I've got to do even better than we're doing now. And I'm not just talking about Elite. I'm actually flicking round in my head thinking, maybe I go and buy a couple of the smaller companies. You know what I mean? And then I start trying to acquire in the industry so we can make it like a holding company, and Elite's just one of them.
What a lot of obviously business owners do on a wider spectrum is go, if their company, say where I grew up in a paving slab business, you start thinking, can we sell porcelain in Germany? Can we sell paving slabs and set up another LTD in America? Can we set up in Australia? Now, we've mentioned so many different types of paperworks and audits and businessy things during this podcast.
Yeah.
How difficult would it be to replicate a company like this in one of those other great big territories?
In a different industry? Or
No, elite competitions, America.
Not legal.
Elite competitions, Germany.
Not legal anywhere.
Elite competitions, Australia.
No, I think Australia have got a way around it with you. You buy something and you get entered into, but it's not. It's this regulation is unique to the UK.
Have you ever thought it could be changed and you could be fuckeried?
No, the regulation, not too worried about, to be fair. Obviously, it's on everyone's radar and everyone's been talking about regulation since we started. However, the VCLC's coming last year. Great, because that's Department of Culture and Science, Media, Culture and Science, have come together with us, the bigger guys in the industry, created what we should be doing for good practice. Now that's going, if we take this seriously and we market the fact that we should be doing these things that this voluntary code of conduct says, take that seriously and you don't need to be regulated because you're self-regulating. So I think the regulation scrutiny is not a worry of mine. Used to be, not so much anymore. I think we will self-regulate. The really big companies will always do the right thing because they're so big, and I think the smaller guys, unfortunately, will fizzle out.
Do you know what the success rate is of a competition business succeeding now?
It's got to be low. It's got to be low just because of the how...
it's less than 1%.
Is it? What if you started one up? Yeah. So only 1 in 100 carry on going after a couple of years. Yeah, I can imagine. I don't think I'd start up again now. I'd do something else.
But you do other things as well, because this isn't the only business necessarily around this. I don't know if they're all merged into one, but a lot of the problems that you have, I guess, are people... I bet you really want them to take the prizes, the GT3, the Aventador, the like, take it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
But how many of them do?
So I've got 5 businesses that I run. So Elite Comps obviously is the biggest, and then I've got a building company that builds new houses. So we've got Elite Development Group, I build new houses. I've got another building company that renovates property, Beaumont Estate Group, and then I've got a hospitality company, Bowl and Beck. It's a place round here that we use to go and drink on a Friday night. So that's why I've got that. That is very vanity, but it's amazing. I love it in there. So the guys. And then the 5th one is Maneva Group, which is a car dealership. And basically that will help. I run it with my mate. Well, actually he runs it, but we own it together. And that will obviously help source some prizes for here. But to keep it very clean from elite competitions, if you win that Temerario tomorrow, the car is yours. That's it. Like for us elite competitions, you are the owner of that car. Okay, that's it. Done. Straight after the draw, whether you take the cash alternative or not. What Maneva Group does is then purchase that car off you for the cash alternative. So you then sell that car to Maneva Group. 50-50. 60% of the time people take the prizes, 40% cash alternative.
Really? I actually thought it would be 6. I thought it'd be the exact opposite way around.
No, it might even be more. It might be 65. Take them. A lot of people take the prizes.
Have you had people that have said they're taking the cash alternatives and turn up and go for the prize instead?
No, but we do get a lot of mind changes overnight and a bit all over the place. And obviously our most recent winner, a guy called David, he won a £1.8 million house last Friday. And so I was like, it was £1.8 million house or £1.25 million cash. And you automatically think, 100% he's going to take the cash, like 1.2 million quid in your bank on the same day. Like literally a one-wire transfer. I've got high limit on the thing, money's there, have it. And he took the house. So I'm like, bloody hell, like, it's proper. So then we transfer the title deeds and that's it.
Why is there a difference? Why is there £1.2 million cash to take and £1.8 million in the house?
Because the problem is, if you set the cash alternative to the same value as the house or the cars, people would never take the items.
Why don't the gambling rules bring them up to the same?
Well, I mean, because the value's still there. So if your GT3 RS is 260 grand, say, and the cash alternative is 200. So no one's ruling that you're only offering 200 grand for 260, because just take the car and then it's worth 260. So your value's still there. Or if I set that at 260 grand cash alternative, 260 grand car, you would never take the car, because you go, well, I'll just take the cash, I'll just buy one near me, or buy one in a different colour, or you would never take it, would you? And then we've got no winner videos, we've got nothing, you know, everyone just take cash alternative. So they're lower for that reason, really. That's it. There's nothing to do with us trying to make profit on them again or anything like that. It's just we want people to take the prizes on purpose. Have you got a winner in your mind of a competition that stands out to you that's like, shit? We've got a really funny winner from a few months ago. Can't remember his name, but that's irrelevant. I actually can't remember his name. But this guy come down, right? So he won this competition, £1 million cash. So he won £1 million cash on a Friday night. Anyway, I didn't really know anything about it. I don't do the live draws. Luke does most of the live draws. So I said, right, get him down. You know, we said, get him down, but try and get him down, especially when it's like this. Now, wire the money there and then. So literally, boom, it'll just pop in your bank, £1 million. Got him in. Next thing, open the shutter and everyone's ready with like a confetti cannon. And I didn't really realise, because nobody's told me, this guy walks in, 79 years old. Swear down, this guy was 79 years old and he just won £1 million, spent a tenner. I was like, that's class. So this guy was 79 years old. I sat him down over there. He was I think he was in an electric wheelchair. Like, you know, we had him sat down over there and I got my laptop out and I wired £1 million. I went, have you got online banking? He went, yeah, check it. And he went, bloody hell, 7 figures in there now. He was good. And then we had another one, which again was £1 million cash. And the lad was 19. Can't remember his name, from Scotland. He came down, did the same. We sat him down in the corner. 19 years old, £1 million dropping in your account. Right, guys, if you're liking this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've been waffling on a little bit, but hopefully you enjoy the rest. I know, I don't want to sound too wishy-washy here because I don't necessarily believe in this, but I know, like, if you win the lottery, and people may have heard this, like, they've got like a lottery support group. Yeah. It's just like, don't do this, you can do this, do this. As far as you're concerned, if he just wants to go blow it in the pub that night, is he allowed to? Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, we haven't got the infrastructure where we can. I mean, I've got a financial advisor that I say, do you want me to put you in touch with a financial advisor? And then I will do. But if they don't want it, they don't want it. 19-year-old with £1 million. I was worried. I went, mate, do not go and spend all that in one day. I said, what are you going to do? He went, I'm going to buy an RS6 and a house. I went, right, that's good. Go and do that. Do not let all your mates talk you into a private jet to Ibiza. You know, like, you know, so I just have a joke with them and try and, you know, just, I'm not one to advise, but I do say, we've got a financial advisor. If you want, they just say no. Nah, mate, I'm all right. All right, fair enough. Well, I'd say the same. But yeah, it is scary though. 19 years old, £1 million. At 19 years old, if you put £1 million in my bank, I don't know, I just lost my mind. I guess people probably also sat there thinking, like, I know this is different to what most people will be able to relate, but I did once sell what was my dad's company. I grew up in it since I was 12 years old. And I did one day sell that after he died and passed away. And the money hitting my account was actually a really poignant moment, because it hit the account what I sold it for. And I thought, right, now I can go on my journey and do what I want to do with my businesses. But like, I felt like I'd literally given away everything. Everybody I knew growing up, people that felt like family at work. Did you actually feel like that? Genuinely? It was the worst feeling in the world. Because that would be what I would worry about. I did it really poignantly. I sat in my dad's office chair when I had the transfer. Yeah. And it just hit the account. I just broke down in tears. I was like, I just don't want it. And I immediately felt like where I was and where I was sat wasn't like ours or mine anymore. It felt distant, like it all just went cold. Were you in the office that you just sold, or were you in the office at the house? No, I was at the office that we just sold. Yeah. I was at the office we just sold. And it felt super weird. Yeah, and the really difficult thing is when you sell a business and you get into those negotiations, and maybe if you've got the leverage to do it, it'll be different for you. Yeah. But yeah, I was in a situation where I could not tell anybody, or like millions of pounds was at risk. If I'd opened my mouth, I was 21. Yeah. And so you're going in every day, but people get suspicious. They see stuff going on. You're here, you're very visible, you're running around. People get suspicious. Oh, what's he doing? Why does he look like that? Why does he look stressed? Why does he look sad? Why does he look this? And then, especially if you're like family to people, people think,
you know, you're not selling,
What's
are
going
you?
on? Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
selling,
what's
are
going
you?
on?
'Cause
Yeah.
it's a massive impact on your life.
Yeah.
And I had to look at these people and say I wasn't for a year.
Yeah.
And I was lying to every single one of them. And that's really tough. That's really tough.
What did you feel like after?
Horrendous for 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, horrendous for 4 months. It took 4 months.
Did it go after that?
It went when I got my first idea that sparked my brain again.
All right. Yeah.
Which, funny enough, was this.
Yeah.
As soon as I got like an idea that I was like, oh, hang on a minute, this looks interesting, then it was gone. It was fine. But like even now, I still go into that office and
I was going to say, do you keep in?
if I'm driving down the A40 at Burford, I will drop into.
What was it? What was industry? Was it?
Paving slabs building products.
Oh yeah. So
Paving slabs building products. And as part of that, I grew an online store with a team of its own.
Yeah.
Off the side of it, but I still pop in there and see a lot of those.
What did you? What about the money? When the money hit,
horrendous.
How did it not change you into an arsehole? Or maybe you are an arsehole. Do you know what I mean? You asked me though, like when I got when you start, mine was a lot more gradual than that as well. It's weird, isn't it? You just don't change.
I just didn't. The only answer I can say, and no one will believe this, I didn't want it.
Yeah. Genuinely, you just like, this doesn't feel right.
I didn't want it.
Yeah.
I wanted the business, but I actually started thinking how I could use that money as a deposit to put down and fund buying the other shareholders out.
Right.
So it was just a constant, like, how do I get rid of this?
Yeah. Yeah. So it wasn't that way. Yeah. You never thought of it that way. Like, I'm now really wealthy or, yeah.
It's quite interesting to look at you during hearing that, because it's not about me, it's about you.
Yeah.
But to see how you can react, 'cause it does make you think, like, and I think people sat at home and they'll see you dancing on screen with a load of prizes in the background and think, oh, it's all right for him. But there are some decisions which are simply life altering. Like anybody else can have a life altering decision, you know, anything that makes a huge impact on their life. But like it really is truly life altering when you give away your business. It's like giving away a pet or a...
Yeah, literally a family member.
It is. And I can see with you that matters more than, say, other people that I'd have sat in the van, because you are one of the most obsessed individuals I've ever looked into the eyes of.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because it's really hard to unpick that obsession. I don't know. I've never come across someone that's really that hard to unpick maybe the roots of that obsession.
Well,
What do you think your mum and dad would say different to how you'd answer? What if I asked your mum and dad, why is he that obsessive? What do you think they would say?
They must just say he's got OCD and he's just, I don't know, because they know. The thing is, even my missus and my mum and dad know that this just comes first. Not first as in, obviously, if one of them's ill or something, I'm going to go and see him or whatever. But they know if I'm here, they don't ring me or nothing. Like they'll just be like, he's just completely obsessed with his business. I don't know if there's anything else to say. I just completely am. I've been in 2 failed sales situations. I've already been through it twice. Due diligence, everything. I blew 300 grand on the last deal in lawyer's fees and it didn't go through. 300 grand in 6 months of my life. Yeah. There's been loads of stuff. And then I had a web developer take me for £500,000. I bought shares for a few million off my things.
There's thousands of people there and in their cars right now and in the gym, and they'll all be smiling if I've just nailed where they are.
Yeah.
You've got to now tell them that story.
We've got, couple, do the deals first. First one. This was back when James was still a director, so we're back in 5 years ago, 21. Wait, when was last World Cup? 4 years ago. It was 4 years ago, because I remember we missed a World Cup game because we had a meeting with these guys. Anyway, got in contact from a couple of guys from Germany. Said, I'll give you 10 million for your business. Said, yeah, absolutely. You know, this is 4 years ago. Anyway, went through due diligence, and I was going through a firm to like an M&A firm at the time to help with the deal. Went through due diligence, everything's fine. Blah blah. We're going to fly over for a final meeting with you before we close it all off. No problem. World Cup game night. Me and Tom. Sorry, I just bought Jimmy out because he wasn't there. Me and Tom sat there. Tom doesn't own any shares, but he's brilliant lad, like literally right hand man. So we sat there, missed the World Cup game because this meeting's happening. It was like 7 or 8 p.m, 9 p.m. at night. They were just getting in from the flight. Came to our old office, which is round the corner, much smaller, but they're dead nice. Like, I like having a nice place to work. Sat down, started going through it. I'm dead like new to this. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, if they wire me 10 mil, I'm well happy. And that's it, you know. But I'm like, I've got no advice. No one's done this before. Start talking, and he's talking about company buyback of shares, and he's talking about this earn-out stuff. And I'm like, and I remember just saying, like, after about 3 hours, I was like, mate, have you got £10 million that you're going to wire me for this company? He went, well, and I went, mate, you just ruined 3 months of our life thinking about this and spending the money and all that. And it turned out they were just honestly, and we were close to signing, chancing, giving away the company for nothing, where I would only get paid on the earn out of the profits. It was mental.
So essentially, they would buy your business and use the business to buy you out.
Yeah, it was mental after I processed it. Second time was only a year and a half ago, 18 months from now, right? No, 2 years. 2 years ago, 2 years. Bit of a stagnation period for Elite. Yeah. 3 years of similar turnover, up a little bit that year, doing all right. Okay, whatever. It's 2 years ago from now. Got approached by a very wealthy guy through an investment company and stuff like that. Wants to get into the competition industry. Go through a load of chats, get invited down to London, schmoozed and all that. And that figure then was couple of tens of million. It was a big figure, you know, and I'm like, whoa, God, I don't think I can say no, you know, like it's not like 100, but it was a big figure. And I was like, I can't say no. Anyway, I said, yeah. I went, yeah, all right, let's do it. Due diligence, 3 months. Upload all this to the frigging, what they call the data safe things that are online. I can't remember what it's. Anyway, upload
sign or something. Yeah,
it's like a vault online. You upload all your stuff, custom, you know, all your customer numbers, all your figures, everything, audited accounts.
Oh, into escrow.
Yeah. It's just like,
digital escrow.
Go and have a look at all that. Did all due diligence. Yep, they're happy with everything. You know, there's nothing in there. So I get a call literally on deal completion day, and I'm like trying to keep this secret from my staff. I'm like, they know something's going on. I'm like, listen, guys, it won't change.
Know.
Yeah, oh, mate, 100%. But I'm like, I'm telling you now. I think I had a meeting, actually, and I went, I'm going to tell you. But I'm telling you nothing will change, because I promise I'll stay for 2 years and make sure everything's fine on a handover for 2 years. Anyway, it gets to deal day, and I get a phone call. You need to come down to London and have a quick meeting with us. I went, all right, okay, that's weird. It's like deal day tomorrow, and this was today. Like, fucking hell, I'm 5 hours from London. I don't like London. It's too busy. I don't know. I'm from up north in the countryside pretty much. I don't like it. Went down there, went into this meeting, and the buyer tried to knock 5 mil off on deal day. 5 million quid just went, I'm no reason. No real reason.
Because that's just what they do.
So, and then I went, no. Didn't like the no. Bit of arguing. I don't know, Tom. I took Tom again. We're leaving. Walked out, and that was it. I spent 300 grand with my lawyer, because I didn't use an M&A firm for this. So I've spent 300 grand with my law firm for the due diligence and all the advice, and it just went overnight. But they're like 6 months periods where you've got to run the business and all your other businesses and go through all due diligence and have these meetings with billionaires, and you're like, the fucking hell's going on? You know what I mean? So yeah, that was them. And it's, so I have been at the point where I've been like, yeah, I will sell.
When are you happiest?
Happiest?
When do you feel the most fulfilled in a week?
When we've had a good week and I can celebrate with the team, honestly.
So why would you sell and take that away?
Exactly. That's it. I think my parents would tell you the same, regardless of the number. It would be, and do you know what? The mad thing is, after that particular one, for X amount of whatever it was, we doubled, and then we doubled again. Like, we've literally quadrupled since those meetings in 2 years.
I went and interviewed a chap the other day. It wouldn't take much figuring out, and he's got a competitions company. Fantastic, flamboyant character. They're absolutely nuts, and they do everything so well from their site at home. Bonkers cops, Nigel. Yeah. And great chap. But he said, and Harry said, and they're on their journey, and they're doing well, and they're making good money. But they're like, I feel like we're at this point where it's like, how do we get that next bang, that next surge?
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm talking to a man that's done that in a couple of weeks' time. How'd you get that next surge? What's the golden nugget?
I just took as many risks as possible. I think the big one, December 25, December 24, and we decided to do our first house, £1 million. Took a risk, lost money. Did it again though. Made money, did well. A couple of hundred. I think not low.
So it happened.
100 or yeah.
So you got £1 million house. You sell 800 grand of tickets.
Yeah. 100,000 about is our biggest ever. Okay. 1 to 150 maybe. And then we dropped the prices, and we went on an acquisition mission. So we literally just like free comps, try and pile loads and loads of customers in, cheap comps, work on retention, hire now I've started hiring very good paid marketing performance. I've got a CMO. Don't even know what C-suite members of staff are, and now I've got a CMO, and so I've started now to hire, and then that's when we started doing really, really well.
Is that because to you, as the humble kid that doesn't want to be viewed as this or that, you're a bit worried about hiring CEOs and CFOs and this, because it just sounds a little bit London?
It's I think it's you're like, well, I don't need that for our little business.
No,
and everyone's going, what are you on about?
His name's Roger or Alan.
Yeah. I'm like, well, he don't really suit though, does he? Because my mate can do it down the road, and it's like, no, your mate can't do this because he's not done it. He's not scaled a business from X to X. So I think hiring the right people and having the bollocks to do it as well. Just we doubled our staff last year, literally double, and the year before. So we've got 44 now, which will be the biggest in the competition industry, I would have thought.
How important is it to fire the right staff?
Only had to fire 2 people. So that's it. Ever. How mad's that? We've got people who are here 5 years, started when they were 19 years old, now 24. Jess, there's a Jess here, dead good girl, just come in straight from uni and just kind of taught her everything she knows, but then she's picked it all up really well. She's dead commercial. She runs our subscription now. She's our subscription manager. Built it to 1.2 million turnover a month, just subscription, recurring revenue. And fantastic. And I've had a look. I'm lucky with my hires that we've never had to do it. I had to get rid of one because he was working for competitors in his week. Mate, everyone was so fuming about it because it feels like a family. So when someone's doing you wrong like that, it's horrendous.
It's like infiltration.
Yeah. And it's obviously against your contract and everything like that. So that was just on the... And it's a shame because nice guy, did great work for us, was with us for a good few years, pulled him into the boardroom, went, what have you been doing, mate? And he was like, yeah, sorry. I was like... why? And then other than that, we've only ever really had to get one other. So I don't do firing, but there is no firing.
Do you change a little bit as a character when you go through even one or two of those things? Like, do you lose a little bit of trust in every 45? Is it hard not to?
No, I honestly feel that close to my team. I'd know it as well. Like we had an inkling straight away on this guy when he started doing it, because he wasn't doing it for long. We knew straight away. I'm that close to him. It's like, imagine working with literally working with your family. I like all of them. I feel exactly the same about. I worry about when it gets too big, 100 staff, 150, that I'll lose a lot of that. But no, nothing's. Do you know what? I've got one thing that I always say I go off, and it's whatever happened yesterday, I don't give a shit about. I'll just carry on. I've got a good story about that one as well. So I had a web developer who was doing our everything, full tech, and it was outsourced out to India. Yeah. So I had this guy in India, and he had about 5 guys work for him out in India.
Minor alarm bells ringing already.
And I'm going, whatever, mate. So I'm paying them like 15 grand a month, probably. Between them, there's like 6 of them or something like that. So good wages, for out there. It's like our minimum wage here, amazing out there. It's times 5, I think, your wealth. So fine. It was all right for 3 years. Literally 2-3 years. This guy's running the platform. Beautiful. Brilliant. Anyway, I had a chat with the lads here, and I went, I think we need to get a little bit more of a professional outfit to run our tech stack, because now we've got, I'll go on to that, but, so reached out to a few firms, and we found a firm who are massive, 3,000 employees worldwide, huge international firm, can put the right guys onto it, can run it remote, fully integrate into your business, and you'll have these. We've currently got 12 of them full time. So we have 12 employees through this other company. So I said to the guy in India, I said, right, I'm moving it out, mate. I'm taking it off you. You will lose your jobs because I'm moving it to a different company to run. And I said, I'll pay you for 3 months, so all of your staff, 3 months, and you just help me do the handover of everything. And he went, no. I went, what do you mean, no? And he went, I'll turn your website off. I went, you can't do that, mate. And he went, I can. And he said, I own your source code, which basically your source code is your whole website. Like this, the main code that runs everything. So you can rebuild source code because we own the domain, but it takes 6 months. Our revenue loss in 6 months is, at that time, 15 million quid. So he said no. I'm still trying to run the comps and not tell anyone in the business. And I've got this guy going, I'm going to turn your website off. And I'm like, hang on a second. I've got competitions. And this is when it's scary because I've got no money right at the time. You know, we kind of like, yeah, there's £1 million, but it's out and then back in and out. And I've got a house half sold on a competition. This guy's going, I'll turn your website off. I'm like, what happens to everyone with house tickets? And how do I even see their orders to refund? You know, you're like, shit, like this is a massive problem. So anyway, I said, mate, what are you on about? Don't do that. Went through lawyers, tried to, you know, he's just arguing and saying, no, you can't do it. I want a percentage of the business or I want paying out to get your source code back, blah, blah. Anyway, probably 2 months of this horrendous, because I'm like, he's going to turn the website off. So I'm waking up in the middle of the night just checking everything's all right. It was pretty horrendous for a good month or two. I ended up paying him £500,000. £500,000 GBP.
He knew what he was doing.
I paid him £500,000. And this isn't when we're doing figures like this is not what you see now. This is when £500,000 was like 6 months profit or a year's profit. You know, like this was like everything was in the bank account. And I had to wire him off £500,000 and get the source code back. That was a grim one. But do you know what? And I swear down, I say the same thing about everything. The day I paid the £500,000 and we got our source code back, the day after I went, I don't give a shit. We're back. We just go again. I don't even think about it after it. I genuinely just go, whatever, mate.
You don't feel wrong. You're just cracking on.
I'm not bothered about going to try and find him in India and have a fight. I'm just not whatever, mate. He's done his thing. That's it. I'm straight back onto it.
Is that because if you were him, would you have done the same thing?
No, I'm too nice. I couldn't have done it. And I might have said, Al, I've worked for you for 3 years. You're earning decent money. Sort us out. But I wouldn't have gone the way he was. No way. That was just pure. It was pure crook. Like he blackmailed. I've got from the lawyers, the guys, they go, and he's just blackmailing you, but you can't do anything because he's in India. So he's not even in the UK law. If it was in the UK, you'd take him to court and say, you can't just blackmail me from my own website. We own it all. No, definitely no. You would. Nobody would. No. Well, hopefully, no one I'd know would do the same. It was horrendous.
It's the things that you just you can't think of when you're starting. You think you're safe just with your website. It's all those minor little things that end up being such a big thing.
We're trying to crack down on it now because as we're into the multi-million customers, you know, the multi-millions of customers, everyone's data's got to be so secure. We've got cyber security insurance now that's like $2,000 a month just for cyber security insurance. And you're like, what are these policies? And yeah, we've got a full-time compliance guy, full-time compliance. I'm like, I'm just selling tickets 5 years ago on my own. And the little things can really trip you up, especially that. And obviously when I gave away my business at the start, so I had two directors and I gave away a lot of the business and I've had to pay for it, multi-millions of pounds. James, fine. And then the web developer, another web developer, I signed over 7% and I paid him a couple of £1 million a couple of weeks ago. Where's the rest of his shares?
Why was it so important to get 100% control back? Do you just feel like you're in your own house?
Yeah. So no matter what it cost, not no matter what it cost me, because I was at the point, so I bought James out about, I think it was 22. So maybe I bought James out 4 years ago, 33% off the table. So that was good for me. Good for him though as well. He didn't like it. It was stressing him out. And I was his best man at his wedding that year. We didn't fall out. It was brilliant. And he's wealthy. So great. And then after that, I had this guy called Ben, who at the start, although James gave me £5,000 for the website, I needed a 25 grand website building, right? This is the real thing. So we had James's 5 grand and he had 33%. I had the rest. And this website was 25 grand. And I found this guy called Ben, Manchester, French guy who builds websites. And I said, I ain't got any money, mate. Well, I can give you 5 grand, but I haven't got the 25 grand. I said, you can have 7% of the business. And he went, yeah, all right. I was like, fair play. He's took a risk. Like, it's nothing at this time, but I'm a good salesman. So I'm like, look, this is my chart. And he goes like this. And there's the moon. And, you know, like, I was like, it could do this. So anyway, he built the first website. 7% was his. And that was that. He probably worked for Elite for maybe a year before we went to the guy in India. And then has not done anything for the last 8 years, but he's held shares. When James sold his shares, Ben's then went up to 10% because it was company buyback. So you basically just buy them out and you lose it. So then Ben's had 10% for, you know, X amount of time. And then obviously I've been saying to him, and we're quite friendly with each other, don't get me wrong. And I just said, you know, mate, what do you want to sell? Here's a figure. No, I'm all right. I'll keep to it. Do you want to sell? Last year, we were in negotiations last January. And he said, no. No, he said, yeah. And then he moved to Dubai, realised he couldn't, I don't know, like lend loads of money against his money and buy villas or something. And then said no on the day we were meant to complete. I was like, that's fine, mate. Like, what, you know, just keep it as long as you want. I'm not a pushy guy. So I'm just like, here's an offer, whatever. You know, for me, I'm not really losing or gaining anything. Whereas in my head, I am, obviously. Like, I want full control. And then literally a couple of weeks ago, I kind of messaged him. I said, mate, you just tell me your number. Whatever. You just tell me your number if you want, because he's getting nothing out of it. I said, we've been here for 10 years. You're not getting anything out of it. You're not taking dividends. You don't get any profit share. So you just, you know, if you want to de-risk yourself now, just let me know what your figure is. Told me a figure, did a bit of bartering, blah, blah. And then I paid him last Friday or 2 Fridays ago. And then that was it. Done. I was like, bloody hell. It was a lot of money. I was like, shit, that was a lot of money, actually. It was like, rinse the bank. I was like, oh my God. But he's dead happy. Really, you know, fair play to him as well. He took a punt at the start. He's held for 9 years. And now he's done really well. And I'm like, fair play. And that's another thing. I'm not bitter that I sent him, you know, X, whatever it is a lot. You know, I'm not bitter about that. I'm more like, yeah, you know, we'll go again.
A bit like the Gymshark story. Lewis Morgan and Ben.
Yeah.
Sort of one of them going off, and it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
It's amazing how business partners can be fundamental in your story, but also so irritating sometimes at the same
It's
point.
bad, yeah, because I don't think I could have done it without maybe both of them, you know. But if you think of the history of Elite, everyone would say, and even them two would say, oh, it's all out. But I'm like, yeah, but mate, you were there when I initially asked for that money and you were there grafting every day. Ben, you were there when I needed a website. So, you know, I'm only paying market value for what you deserve from that day.
What is the one prize or thing? And I know every time you bloody pop up on my phone, it's bigger and better and stupider. And you think, how can you even get more shit in the frame? But is there like a prize in your head that you want to do or tick off or give away? Does that become like a bit of a goal? Like, just imagine if we could do one of these.
Yeah.
And where is that fantasy currently?
Well, we've scaled our houses up from 1 million, literally 1 million, like 6 months ago, and we're now at 2. So we're already at 1 to 2 million. So we're at £2 million houses. So this month is a 1.4. Next month's a 1.85. Month after is a very cool one, but I can't give it away because the competitors will just start stealing the ideas. So I'm like, in a couple of months, we've got a brilliant one, really cool idea. And then after that, it's £2 million. So we've secured a £2 million house in 3 months. Mad. One of the dreams for me would be a waterfront mansion on Lake Windermere. I think that would be a really cool prize with a couple of wake boats in it. So, I mean, there's one for sale at the minute. It's £8.5 million. So it's a big house, couple of boat garages, couple of wake surf boats in there, comes with like 100 grand. Oh, I'm like, that would be a cool prize. But I mean, it's a bit stupid at the minute. Like, there's no point in us risking anything like that.
What do you think is the biggest prize that could ever be given away with the size of the market in the UK in 5 years? Think it's ever possible to do like £100 million prize? Would you ever get your money back? I suppose the lottery does.
Yeah, lottery is, it's similar because they have to sell tickets, I suppose. Yes, it would cost you a lot in advertising. I don't know. I don't know. It might keep scaling to that, yeah. But I mean, I think we're the biggest, apart from obviously Omaze, which is a house subscription, so it's completely different.
Why is it different?
Omaze sell their subscription model more. So we have got a subscription model, but
when you were talking about the house in Lake Windermere, I couldn't help but think Omaze.
Yeah, definitely. So they've got a subscription model, and they have uncapped entries. So it's different because we've got, say, 10 million entries for the Temerario at like 5p. Yeah. Theirs is uncapped, so as many people as sign up is just how many tickets you get. So it's an infinity amount depending on how good they are at selling tickets. Also, they base their model around charity, so there's a lot of charity based on that, and it's subscription, and it's one house a month. So it's a completely different model to our competition. It's a different industry, I feel like. So they're already doing that, but we give away say our turnover is 100 million a year, we give away of that probably about 50 in prizes, which is a massive amount compared to, because then I've got costs, a shitload of costs, right, to come off that, all the marketing. Whereas they're giving away about the same in value, but turning over 300 or whatever they turn over, so I think value wise, this kind of way of playing competitions is more user valuable.
You've done TV.
Sick houses. They've done sick houses.
Have you done a TV ad yet?
Yeah, we've done two TV ads. One, very professional, no personality, didn't do very well. Two, it was just me running around the house, and I thought it did a lot better. And it was filmed by us.
From a man that's actually paid for one.
Yeah.
What does a TV advert cost to put on the telly?
To buy the ad slots or make the
both.
Okay, so we on our first one, which was shot in one day, staged at someone's house, and it was about someone winning a watch instantly. Cost us about 100 grand to produce the ad.
Whoa!
Yeah. I didn't in the prop. It used my Ferrari, so it wasn't even like it's a proper car. Bastard. I know. I was like, bloody hell. So they used our props and everything. So about 100 grand in production costs. Because you got actors, you got to pay them royalties. You got to pay the actors royalties.
What they say. I had a figure in my head. I wonder if it's £250,000.
Yeah, 100 grand for the production, and it was all right. It was pretty cool, like quite funny for us, but I don't think anyone else really got it. And in a month, we'd spend about 200, and you wouldn't see it that much. It's expensive, mate.
Facebook
it's
that and TV.
Expensive, yeah. Digital marketing is, especially for companies our size. Maybe like big gaming companies, Bet365, William Hill, etc., and Paddy Power, when they're doing the big sponsorships on the World Cup, they've got budgets of billions to give away to spend on TV.
Would you ever have a street shop? Would you ever have a shop in Warrington High Street with an Aventador in it that you could walk in and tap touch screens and buy tickets?
The problem is, I think it's a great idea. I'm going to note that down.
Oh, you bastard.
I think, honestly, if you had that Temerario there, somewhere in Manchester as like a pop-up shop, and then you had an iPad, and you could just go, like, 500 tickets cost you 25 quid. Yeah, I reckon, it probably would work. Although, the amount of it's never going to work like it does digitally.
It's funny because it sounds like a certain competition company that started at an airport.
Yeah. BOTB, started at an airport.
You ever met Christian?
I haven't met Christian, and when you should
employ Christian.
I know, he's good, isn't he? I like Christian. He's got a good personality. I've never met him though. But you've just sparked another thing that I did in my 20s and before Elite. I saw BOTB in the airport, and then I saw online they were doing Spot the Ball, and I thought, they're missing out on motorbikes. So, and then this was what I was like. I found a guy who owned it, William Hindmarsh, on Company's House.
Yeah.
I guessed his email for BOTB about 50 times. So just W Hindmarsh, William.Hindmarsh. I don't know what it was in the end, but I just put it all in BCC, like that, or I just did it loads of times. I sent an email saying, I've got a proposal for you. I'd love to, like a proper constructed email with a PDF attachment of how motorbikes could plug into their website. And I just want 25% of the motorbike side. And I've just thought that out, come up with it, wrote an email, guessed the guy's email, and then emailed him. And to be fair, they didn't go ahead, but one of his like advisors or something, maybe a guy called Rupert, did actually email him back going, cheers for the idea, Alex, like, appreciate it, but we're not looking to move operations towards that or whatever. But I was like, fair play. Like, that was the sort of shit I was doing, though. Just like a little idea, and you're like, no, I'm going to do this. And yeah, and you just sit there.
The bonkers guys are raffling off a fucking toaster. Like,
yeah. Mental.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's something different.
There's so many things for us growing up in a digital space.
Mm-hmm.
Just so different to how our parents or grandparents would have had that experience or reality, or think it's so stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Like something that goes on, but essentially, I think with us, we get to have a silly idea and it be more possible to be reality than they did necessarily.
Yeah, 100%.
A stupid idea can be gold.
I mean, look at just content creators in general making a lot of money. It's mad, innit? Like, if you had said that to your parents, they would go, what are you on about? You make money from doing that? Or, like, smashing an egg on your head or something. That's what I do.
I don't bloody understand how that works.
Yeah. So day one of smashing an egg on my head. And then you get to like day 1,000 if you've got 1 million followers and you're like,
£10 for a post, yeah.
It is hilarious and it's brilliant though. I think it gives everyone a bit of freedom of what they want to do. And,
do you have like a bit of an inspiration's probably the wrong word, but look at a few people and go, I like that. I like what you do. Does MrBeast a bit of an inspiration for you? I knew he was.
Love MrBeast. And do you know what? I like what he stands for. And he seems grounded, obviously never met him, but he's got all these companies, fantastic, seems grounded, does a lot of good in the world, and it's not all for camera. I'm sure it's not, just the way he comes across. I did watch a podcast actually. Was he on with I think he did a Starting Auto one, didn't he? And again, I don't watch his podcast, but because MrBeast were on it, I watched it and I thought, yeah, I really like Jimmy, really like him. And we tried to do a couple of things like that. So we've got another side of the business that I started in November. I went, what can we do with a bit of our profits that'll make a bit of good in the world? I got approached by an advertising
He's becoming a philanthropist.
No, honestly,
here it is.
I got approached by an advertising company about putting ads on YouTube via a digital agency. And it was 50 grand. And I didn't like the guy selling it to us. And I was like, I don't know. I don't like it. It feels like a waste of money. And then I went into the big office and I wrote on the board, I went, what can we do with 50 grand a month? If we don't need this 50 grand a month, what can we do with it? There will be, get our name out there, but also do a bit of good. And we came up with elite contributions. So now on the site, you can click it. We do 3 videos a week, every single week we do 3 videos. I've got 2 girls full time who run it and we give away 50 grand a month. And it's anything from charity, fun in the street. We've done a treasure hunt today, just making people's day, when there's just money in it, or we do a lot of charity stuff and that is where I'll see the link with like MrBeast. He likes going to Africa and trying to cure the water crisis and stuff like that. And we're actually doing the same in the Masai Mara. We've already had 1 trip out there to Africa. We're going again in September and we're reinstating 2 new boreholes and redoing their wells to do some water treatment for them. And I love that side. And I said to the guys, listen, I'm a businessman. I can't do it if it ain't going to pay us anything. So you need to make videos that get views. So I get brand awareness, but we also do the good thing. Brilliant. Do that.
Do you think you could ever convince another company to change their laws? Another country to change their laws? Have you ever thought about it?
I don't know. Don't know how high you'd have to go. I know Omaze are in Germany now, but they run under I think they run completely under a registered charity. So it's a different route. It would be good. Can you get me in with any ministers in any of the EU countries?
A lot of them have hypercars that shouldn't.
Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah. I think, and I think it'd go down well because, it's fixed. And as long as you do it right, it's fixed odds. Not fixed, it's fixed odds. And, as long as you do it right.
It's funny because if no one knew where this was in the world and you were like an alien looking down on the world and you had to take a bet where this was, I'm pretty sure because of the nuttiness of it, they'd say America.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably the last place you'd pick is England.
Yeah, because we're all a bit sensible and industrious.
Yeah.
And this is
mad,
a bit
isn't it?
nutty and gambly.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the best possible place for it because I think without it being here, it wouldn't have found you, and without you, it wouldn't look like it does. So,
Appreciate that.
Alex, one hell of a conversation.
Yeah, cheers.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that you also sparked the idea to go out and buy a bike and to get it up there. And there is a 1% chance, guys, that you can still make that work. What's your final thought for people that go and do that?
Anyone trying to get into the competition industry, give it a go if you want, but make sure you're completely obsessed with whatever you're doing it in. So like you said, you were going to do it in the fishing. I was right, wasn't it? And, if you've got a passion, follow it. But I think it'd be a bit hard now. Maybe the time's gone. Try and find the next thing. Nice one. Cheers, mate.